Alright, hey everybody, it's Justin, and today we're going to be taking a look at this Kato EMD SD70ACe, or the ACE as everyone has nicknamed these. So, what I've got here is a used model that I picked up at the Pensacola Railfest 2024. It has a Digitrax DN163K1C decoder, and yeah, let's jump into the review. So this is my first modern Union Pacific engine. I've never seen one up close in real life, so I don't really know how close the coloring is, but I do have an older run water tender to compare it to, also from Kato, and the paintwork is pretty much exact, so I'm gonna give Kato just the brownie points because they got it right. So whether or not it's accurate to the prototype, I don't know, but we're gonna go with it is. So, beautiful 6-axle locomotive. I'm a GE guy, but I gotta say I really like this EMD locomotive, so I don't know, I might get into SD70s, who knows, but looking at the actual detail of the model, we'll So looking at the actual detail that Kato put onto the SD70ACe, we'll start off with the cab. So first of all, we got our two number boards and our headlight. The headlight on SD70s can be either above the cab or they can be on the nose. This version is on the cab. We have our sand filler hatches next to the nose, which is appropriated with the correct UP style door that has no window. We have the ladder going up and down so you can access the sand filler hatches or get up to the number boards if you need. We have the UP logo and the UP wings. Got some sort of little display and stickers underneath there that I can't really get my phone to focus on. Got our two ditch lights mounted above the anti-climber with the railings. Looking down below, we have our plow, Kato coupler, air brake hoses, coupler cut levers, and the only thing it doesn't have is the MU cable, but that's common for Kato locomotives. So you can always install that yourself. Side of the cab also has the modern window style with the 4 windows, and we also have some windshield wipers over the windows. Looking at the truck design, it is very nice. I gotta give Kato props. It looks amazing. I don't really know much about the trucks itself, but from what I do know, it's got suspension and it's got chains coming down over the bearing caps, and it looks really good, guys. I love it. One last thing, we have an F indicating the front of the locomotive. We have our road number 8497, and we have SD70ACe, name of the locomotive. Next we have our fuel tank, which also looks really good. We got piping along it, and it looks epic. Got our rear truck, which is the same, just reversed. Got some sort of little sticker there. I'm not sure what that says. And then we got, once again, our other rear side stairs. So behind the cab, we have our inverter cabinet, and above that, we got our air intake box right there. Then we got another little, I'm not sure what this is. I guess another air intake for dynamic braking or something. I'm not sure. I'm a GE guy. But after that, we got our beautiful UP flag over the engine area. It looks, I love it. Next, after the flag, we got the Building America scheme, the UP shield, and we got some more fans around the back. Now this is really where I think the SD70 just really pops compared to some GE locomotives. I mean, just the back radiator section, it just looks cool. Like, I'm not sure how to put it. But looking at the rear of the locomotive, so we have a molded on ladder going up. We got our 2 rear headlights there. 8497 numbers on the back. Got some more fans and some little sand filler hatches, which are inside of a little cubby on either side. And the back of the locomotive is pretty much the same, except for there is no snow plow because you don't need it on the rear. And there's little spots for where in real life they would have their couplers as replacements just sitting there, but yeah. Okay, so on the other side of the SD70, it's pretty much the same, but there are some differences. So first of all, we don't have our big inverter cabinet there. Instead, we have a battery cabinet, and we actually have steps so the crew can walk into the cab through there. Yeah, we have a few little doors and cabinets along the side for the crew to access the engine and prime mover and everything. Looking back at the radiator section, so we have a braking wheel there. The trucks are the same. Fuel tank is a little different on this side, where we actually have these little air compressor, or I guess just air tanks, I guess. And then we have our E-bell right there. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the sides of the locomotive. Top of the locomotive, we have our PTC. Now, I think this specific PTC style is just specific to a certain number of ACEs and maybe a few GEVOs, but this one has the dome style, and then we have this random, like, I'm not sure what that is, but a little secondary cylinder on the back. We have some lines on top of the air take box here. So I don't know if that's for style or if that's for improving aerodynamics, but that's there. We have our, I believe that's a K5LLA air chime horn, which is common for ACEs to have. Looking at our radiator, we got our two fans there, which aren't see-through, but it definitely looks like there could be detail in there. It's just, it's very nice. And then we have our third fan there. And then another little thing about the ACE is that in between the radiator and the air intake portion, this area is like sloped. So I think it's cool, but yeah. Now, I was also kind of curious as to how big this locomotive actually is compared to other major competitors. So I have an SD70ACe. So with these two lined up, the ACE is actually slightly longer than the GEVO. Okay, so with this being a Digitrax DCC locomotive, I can actually control this without using my Kato one. So I'm using the Bachmann Easy Command, so my functions are obviously going to be limited. But if I press F10 on mine, we got our headlights, number boards, and ditch lights on. Normally for other people, it would be F0 to turn this on, and then I guess like F6 or F7 for your ditch lights, but yeah. If I give this a little bit of power, it's probably just my controller, but this locomotive is not the smoothest. But again, that is probably my controller because all of my Kato units are the smoothest runners I've ever seen in the hobby. Yeah, so far it looks amazing. I'm gonna assume that these are factory lights, but somebody might have replaced them at some point with LEDs, but they do look good. So I'm gonna just get it coupled up to some intermodal cars, some Maxi 5s. Can't talk today. yeah, that is going to do it for this review. Overall, I'm going to give the Kato SD70ACe a 10 out of 10. I don't really see anything that needs to be done to it, apart from, I guess, you know, maybe installing sunshades at some point and maybe doing a custom MU cable install. But yeah, it's definitely going to be one of my top mileage locomotives on my layout once I, you know, get some time on it. But yeah, if you guys want, I can do a EMD versus GE video, just doing a little comparison. But other than that, this is Justin Railfan signing off. Thank you guys so much for watching, and take care.